Hi, I'm Rick Pauly with PaulyGirl Fast Pitch, and I'm here today to talk to you and demonstrate to you a great new little tool for pitching and hitting. But first, let me give you a little background on myself and PaulyGirl Fast Pitch. PaulyGirl Fast Pitch is a little business that my daughter Sarah Pauly and I formed a few years ago, and our total intent is to try to elevate the level of pitching skills for young ladies, and also to provide instruction for those that want to become pitching coaches or pitching instructors. So that's kind of our whole focus here. A little background on Sarah. Sarah's an NCAA All-American pitcher and is now pitching in the National Pro Fast Pitch, where she's been selected to the All-Pro team 6 years. And she continues to pursue her pitching through her coaching career. She's a Division I pitching coach. Myself, played men's major open fast pitch, was an ASA All-American there, and am also a Division I pitching coach, and have coached at all levels of softball, from anywhere from 10 and under young ladies to 18 gold, coached at junior college, and now coaching Division I level pitching coach. So pretty good background between myself and Sarah. Talk a little bit about some of the things that we think really set us apart, maybe from other people that do instruction. And that is, we feel like we're right on the cutting edge of any technology or any techniques that will help to advance our teachings. We do all the traditional things like radar speeds. We do lots of measuring of spin rates with the RevFire, great little tool. And we do an awful lot of work with the conditioning and strength part of pitching. And then on top of all of that, we do an awfully lot of high-speed video, 300 and 600 frame per second video, and we put that into motion analysis software. So we've broken down pitching and hitting to its finest movements, and have analyzed it, and have done this analyzing the best pitchers in the world. So again, quite a bit of background, and that's why we feel really good, both Sarah and I, about promoting and telling you about this little device here. This is called an AccraSpeed. Okay, and what does this little device do? Well, it measures centrifugal force. So you can see I've got an AccraSpeed here on my arm, my pitching arm, and we'll just show you kind of how it works. Any athletic movement that creates some kind of a centrifugal or circular movement, this can provide great feedback for. So for instance, in pitching, circular movement, or in hitting, the bat is a circular movement. Both of those create centrifugal force, and this little device will give you an audible feedback when you hit a certain level of centrifugal force, or in my case in pitching, it's when you hit a certain level of arm speed coming through. And I'll do that one more time so that you can just hear that little chirp that this makes, an audible sound. And it'll happen about right here in this area, right when I get in near the release zone. So it's like this. Okay, and one more time. All right, so that little audible sound is going to feed back to your pitching student and to the instructor, hey, I achieved a certain level of arm speed. Okay, and a little later on I'm going to talk about some of the applications for this device for both pitching and for hitting. All right, now let me just take a second and give you an idea of how this thing works as far as adjusting to the age or skill level of the person that you're working with.
Okay, before I walk up here and do a little explaining on the adjusting, I've got a still picture of the AccraSpeed up here so that you can get a clear picture of how we really set the adjustment on this little tool. You'll notice there's a vertical scale numbered 1 through 7, and those are our major scale adjustments. So anywhere between 1 and 7, we can dial this thing in to the particular sport or action that we're trying to measure, whether that be a arm speed on pitching or bat swing speed or golf or tennis or whatever sport you have. And then you'll notice that there's a cylinder with letters A through H, and those are what we would call our fine adjustments. We can adjust anywhere between any of these numbers. For instance, we can go 1A, 1B, 1C, 1D, and really fine-tune how we measure the skill or the skill level of the student we're working with. And if you look at it, if you turn that cylinder in a clockwise fashion, that's going to increase the centrifugal force required to get a audible chirp out of our little AccraSpeed. And if you turn it in a counterclockwise direction, that reduces the centrifugal force that's required. So it's really easy to adjust this, and we really feel like we've got a really easy to use and yet really well-defined little tool here in the AccraSpeed.
Okay, so I'm going to come up here kind of close, and I'll hold up this little AccraSpeed right here, and what you can see is that there is a graduated scale right here. It goes 1 through 7. Okay, and those are what we would call kind of the major adjustment points. And 1 requires less centrifugal force, and 7 would require more centrifugal force. So in the case of pitching, greater arm speed, you will be able to register a chirp or a noise somewhere up in the 5 or 6 range, which would be great. Likewise with hitting, higher bat speeds, you'll be able to get this to activate and chirp at a higher number. Now, how do we get this to be a real fine measurement? If you look on this dial right here, you'll see that there's letters A through H. And so this little cylinder actually turns like this, and I can adjust between the letter or the number 1 and 2, I can adjust an A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H level. So I can really fine-tune what the pitcher's arm speed is or what the bat speed is or what have you. So this is really a tool that you can use, again, for all age levels and skill levels, and it's really a neat little tool. And if I hold it up here close, you'll see it's a nice solid metal case here, so this thing really isn't going to wear out on you. It's really almost impossible to damage this. So really solid, well-engineered product here. Okay, so let's talk just a little bit about some of the applications that we've been using this AccraSpeed for here at PaulyGirl Fast Pitch. Talk about pitching to begin with. Well, first of all, we work on increasing your arm speed to increase your pitch speed. So just simply, and you'll hear this, give a little chirp noise here, okay, and the faster I can generate arm speed, the more I'm going to be able to dial this thing up and find out what's my maximum arm speed, and then, you know, my challenge is to continue to increase that arm speed. Okay, well, what else do we use it for? A second thing, and this is really good, is we find out what our max arm speed is, and then we say, well, okay, I got a chirp there. Now let's throw for our location and make that chirp. So that would really simulate a game situation. Okay, lots of kids, when they throw for location in the bullpen, they're not throwing their high speed, and then they get in a game and they can't understand why they can't hit a location. So this really gives feedback. When I throw to my low outside corner and I get my chirp and I hit my corner, I knew I just did it at game speed. So that's great. Okay, you can use this to help determine some things on the mechanics of your pitching. In fast pitch, here at PaulyGirl Fast Pitch, we teach a lot of things related to the deceleration of the arm and the deceleration of the hip snap and things like that. And we would like to get some brushing action here. So this little device tells us if we're getting brushing action. The chirp will be a different length and at a different time, etc. So we can tell, you know, if the student doesn't feel, or if it's such a high speed that the instructor can't see, this will give you the feedback that you're looking for. And then almost maybe one of the neatest things that this will do is it helps you build the deception that you want on your off speed or your changeup pitch. You know, we've already found out, here's what our highest setting is that we can make this chirp. Okay, that's our fastest pitch. Now we want our changeup to look just like it. So we try to achieve a chirp while throwing our changeup. And this really gives you feedback. I mean, the student knows instantly, wow, was that the same speed as my drop ball arm speed? And if I got a chirp, well, it was. Now I'm going to fool every batter out there, and that's great. Okay, great little training tool for pitching. Several other applications. Those are some of the primary ones that we do. Okay, I'm going to show you how easily you can take this AccraSpeed off of your pitching arm, where we're getting all kinds of beautiful feedback on our chirps, and just move it over to my left hand, and I'm going to use it for feedback in my hitting. And I'll just show you some, really quickly, some applications that you can use it for in hitting. And remember, there'll be some training videos up on YouTube that you can go to get the specifics on how to run all of these drills. But what we're going to try to do is measure the energy of our swing, or the rotational forces that we create with hitting. And of course, in hitting, it's all about going from your launch time to contact time, okay, or how much bat speed can you generate. So I'll just do a nice easy swing here, and you can hear a nice chirp there, okay, and so that fed back to me that I'm doing something right. I'm getting some kind of an energy level, okay. So what we would try to do, and I'll just bring in this little hitting tee here, and we'll hit a couple balls off of here, all right, and one of the main things you want to try to do is increase your bat speed, or to reduce your launch to contact time. So you heard I just got a nice audible chirp from that easy swing I took. I'll move it up a couple letters on our fine adjustment scale and see if I can still achieve a chirp. So I'm trying to, you know, increase my energy level. Okay, so got a real nice chirp there. So it tells me I can go up another level or two here on the audible scale. And if I receive a chirp, well then that means I'm still not quite, I still haven't found my highest energy I'm capable of right now. So we'll see if I can do it again. Okay, so one little interruption by the tee here, but you can hear the chirp. And so I can keep moving this until no longer can I receive a chirp. And then I'll back it down one letter to where I did get a chirp. And that's my high bat speed, or my high energy level, or my quickest launch to contact time. So then I'm going to practice increasing energy and trying to, you know, higher bat speed, reducing contact time, etc. That's a great little feedback device here, okay? Another thing I can do is, I'm taking batting practice, and I'm going to have the batting practice pitcher slip in an off-speed pitch or a changeup every once in a while, and see, can I still get my audible chirp on a changeup. So we'll just pretend we've got a pitcher out there, and they throw a changeup to me, and I managed to get a nice chirp out of that. So that means I was able to maintain a good bat speed. That means I was able to read that pitch and time it and still generate a lot of power on an off-speed pitch. And that's really important in softball or in baseball, okay? Another thing that you can do here is work on this thing for improving your swing mechanics. Give you a for instance. A lot of young beginning hitters are very linear with their swing, a lot of arms going to the ball kind of thing, or they tend to cast out away from their body early. And if they did that, they probably wouldn't receive a chirp. So they've got an instructor there, they're going to say, well, let's stay connected back here, get a little stretch in our load, and really rotate and see if we can't increase that bat speed or reduce our launch to contact. So a little loading, stretching, and a little increase in the energy level. And you can hear that I got a nice long chirp there, which means I really overachieved where I had been at. So that's great feedback to me. All right, probably one of the last little things you can do here, actually there's more, but you're in batting practice and you've got your high setting, you know where you're at in the cheating and audible chirp, and you're in BP, and you're going to try to get that chirp every swing. So you're trying to simulate your game energy, your game swing in batting practice. So it's great feedback to know that you can simulate a game situation. And quite often in practice that doesn't happen, but this little feedback device will certainly tell you if that's the kind of energy that you're generating. So lots of applications for this little device in softball or baseball. And we hope that you put this into your training program for pitching or for hitting or for overhand pop times or overhand throwing or double plays or running or what have you. Again, lots of applications. So from PaulyGirl Fast Pitch, take our recommendation and check on AccraSpeed.
Okay, so I've got up another little picture here of the AccraSpeed, just to give you an idea of where you can go to buy this little device. You can go to www.accraspeed.com or www.paulygirlfastpitch.com. Both of these websites have an online store, so you can purchase it there. And we don't want you to forget to go to YouTube to look at some of the training videos that will really show you how to use this tool and improve your game. So if you go to YouTube and type in AccraSpeed Trainer, then you'll get all the little drills that you could possibly need to elevate your game to the next level. And this is just, again, from PaulyGirl Fast Pitch, one of the finest little tools that we've ever really run into.